Hi everyone, it's me, Shantae, aka Shanteezy. I'm here. I am live after midnight on the East Coast. I'm back home from the DNC. Normally I will start out with COVID and I will start out with the numbers and then get into politics, but because this is a special one because I just came back about a couple hours ago. Well, I came back like a little bit before 5, and I'm going to talk about my time at the DNC. I'm not going to be long because it is late on the coast here. Some of you, it's probably 9 o'clock on the West Coast, 10 on the Mountain Time, 11 Central. So if you missed this, you can catch it on my feed, and I will upload this video on my YouTube and some clips on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. So I have a list of things to talk about. It's not going to be long. I'm just going to do a brief recap. The stuff is right here. So I'm going to start off with the Democratic National Convention that happened this past week from Monday through Thursday. It was located in Chicago, and it was at the United Center for the last 4 days. It started like around 5:30 Central Time, and there was different speakers. It ranged from Jasmine Crockett to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Malcolm Kenyatta, big names like Pete Buttigieg, the president, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, former presidents Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and of course the current president Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, and the presidential and vice presidential nominees, along with some high-level congressional delegation on the Democratic side, and some guest speakers and some former cabinet members of different administrations from the Obama administration and even the Clinton administration. So my overview of the convention, I know the convention was great. The convention was great. The production of the convention was great. The speakers were amazing, except for probably like one or two. And it was a great experience just to be there as a content creator, to have my credentials, my yellow badge, where I've had the same access as the legacy press, such as the New York Times and the Washington Post and, even MSNBC, CNN, all of those, right? I was in sections with these commentators and these reporters. I was in the same section as them for the last couple days. So I had those credentials as a social media content creator. And I'm going to get into some people are feeling salty. In terms of the highlights of the event, night one, unfortunately, I was not there due to my airport debacle with the storm that happened on the East Coast that ravaged most of the East Coast, the Northeast and the Southeast in particular. I had to get help from my sister to get a flight to Chicago and go back home and go back to the airport, and that cost about around $200 to, back and forth, damn near. And I had to get a layover flight, but I was able to work my regular job, which I told my supervisor that, and she was fine with it. So I got to Chicago on Monday evening, and I missed day one, unfortunately, because to pick up your credentials was from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then I got an email late that night, saying that there's going to be different locations to pick up your credentials. So when I saw how far to pick up my credentials, it was a walk. So that was not bad. And Tuesday when I came in, I met so many people. The first person I met was Representative Senatorial candidate for Delaware's U.S. Senate seat, Lisa Blunt Rochester. She is so nice, and she was so sweet, and she even followed me back. She's like the most sweetest breath of fresh air person, and she went through a lot in her life. Like, I learned about her life story, and she had a lot going on, but she's a very genuine, sweet person. I told her she's going to win because she got that in the bag, and she's going to represent Delaware very well as Joe Biden did. She is, if anybody's the Joe Biden legacy, it's Lisa Blunt Rochester. And that's the truth. So I'm excited. I was excited to meet her. And then I met the ambassador herself. Former ambassador to the UN. She was a director of national security. Then she was a policy director in the Biden administration. She served in 3 different Democratic administrations. Susan Rice. You want to talk about somebody that's like down to earth and so sweet? She was one of those people. And her husband is the most down to earth person. They were so down to earth. I took a picture with them. So down to earth, so sweet. And I met more people along the way. There's so many to name that I met. I met Representative Robert Garcia, who was a Kamala Harris supporter. I met Lauren Underwood. I met, who else I met? I met former Secretary of HUD, Marsha Fudge. I met, who else? Representative Sharice Davids. I met some legal commentators. I met Melissa Murray. I met Elie Mystal. I met one of the executive directors or former executive directors of the New York State Democratic Party. It's so many people that I met. I can't even name it on the top of my head because I met a lot. And today I sat next to Eric Gardner's mother on the plane. I sat next to her. And then when I went to get my bag from, the baggage claim at the carousel, I spoke with former Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz. By the way, he's very handsome in person. And he's very, chill in person. He was having a lot of conversations. Everybody was, coming up to him and having conversations with him. He talked casual. And I was shocked to see him there. I was shocked to see you there because, he was distancing himself from politics. Because when you've been in politics so long, and when it's time for you, when you want to just step back, you step back, give people, their space and their privacy. But he's a delegate. And so I was just very happy to see him there, and supporting the vice president, So I'm very happy to see that. Thank you, Queen. But I just wanted to get into, my breakdown. And I'm going to start with night 2. Night 2 was spectacular. Night 2 was amazing. I mean, you had forever First Lady, Michelle LaVaughn Robinson Obama, or Michelle Obama, spoke and dropped some truth there and basically ripped Donald Trump, aka the bum from Queens, ripped them a new one. And it was so hard that her husband had to follow up, and he couldn't even follow up with what she said, but he dropped some truth too. He did. And there was other people that spoke that was just amazing. And then Wednesday, of course, you had Secretary Pete speaking truth, and he was a little comic relief. You had our future Speaker of the House, Hakeem Sekou Jeffries of Crown Heights. He did his thing, okay? And then you also had Nancy Pelosi, she spoke, and former president, 42nd president of the United States, Bill Clinton, he spoke. And then the vice presidential candidate himself, Tim Walz, gave a heartfelt speech. And people came for his son, who has, a disability. And I just want to say this to the people that was coming after him. For y'all to get at a 17-year-old young boy who, one, is not a murderer like Kyle Rittenhouse, who's actually a loving young kid that loved dogs and that just love his father and is proud of his father, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. But you know what? I'm glad people ripped that geese herself and Coulter a new one, because she deserved all the goddamn smoke. As of Thursday night, the queen herself, Kamala Harris, spoke. And many others spoke. Colin Alt-Red, he spoke. Big Gretch spoke. Pink sung her song, and her daughter can sing. Okay? Because Pink know how to sing. Pink know how to sing. Okay? Sing. She should have sung the national anthem because the Dixie Chicks did okay. But Pink know how to sing. Like, sang, sang. And, and everybody came on the stage. There was a benediction. Maya spoke. Of course, Minna spoke. And, you know, Kerry Washington was just amazing. So overall, the recap of, you know, the DNC, I'm going to post the pictures right here. But it was just amazing. Yes, Adam Kinzinger, I was like, why some of these Republicans are there? It's not like it was like Ana Navarro, because Ana Navarro's been 10 tones down for Democrats for almost 10 years now. Keep in mind, she's still a registered Republican, but she's a moderate Republican. She's a Bush Republican. She's not a Reagan Republican, but she's a Bush Republican. So I understand like Ana Navarro being there. I understand the guy from Arizona who endorsed Kamala Harris being there. Adam Kinzinger endorsed Biden. But you know what? As much as he get on my nerves, I could deal with him a little bit more than Elizabeth Cheney. And let me tell you, so my conversation with these people on the airplane, they were nice ladies, but you could tell like they vote with their feelings and not vote for like their interests. They were talking about Liz Cheney, like, because I was saying something that, you know, George Bush was the last Republican to work with Democrats. It's true. He's the last Republican president to work with Democrats. Because he's not really a conservative. He's a moderate. And it was like, and I said the conservative was Dick Cheney. They was like, the best thing about Dick Cheney was Liz Cheney. I was like, first of all, Liz Cheney is more far right than her daddy. And I don't even like her dad. But she's more far to the right than her father is. That's for starters. Okay? And she supported Donald Trump's policies, and she still thought and think that his policies are better for America than policies that are centrist leaning to the left and that are progressive. And she voted 93% of the time with Donald Trump. So that speaks for itself. Because she did one right thing, she's like the best person in history. Child, please. Nobody got time for that. So yeah, she endorsed Nikki Haley. But overall, the DNC was amazing. It was a great experience. It was a great experience for content creators, even though I did not. And yes, I did not get an interview because my interview was supposed to be with Tim Walz, but he arrived earlier and he met with other newsworthy folks and he had to go. I will eventually have my opportunity one day to interview somebody from the news. But I was happy to be amongst most content creators that was there for democracy because I believe there were some there for pontification and most that were there for democracy. So throughout my time at the DNC, it was just amazing. It was good to be amongst like my peers that I'm online with. It was good experience to, you know, be in the atmosphere and experience democracy. It was a good experience. And Jesse, yes, I don't care for Stephanie Grisham. She's like a non-factor. So that's just my thing. But hopefully and prayerfully that they will have more social media content creators. So this is my suggestion to the DNC. I hope for the inauguration, and I'm speaking this in existence, as if Kamala Harris already won this race, because by far she's already won this race. Because when you are a God-fearing person and when you are not, I can't say even saved, but just have good discernment and good intuition, you know this race belongs, and this win will be Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz, and it will be our president and vice president. Please have social media content creators there at the inauguration. Give them a huge discount on hotels. Give them great food and lodging. Because we're there on our own dime already, getting our air tickets and our airfares to come there and create content for the greater good. Make sure you have people that's there for the greater good, telling the truth and tell them the truth through the lens of their experience, as well as getting the experience of democracy being preserved and safe. Not for clicks and likes like some of these legacy news people. That's my advice to you. But overall, and I'll sum this up, the pictures that I'm showing and I have shown, this was a great, great, great experience. And I'm a little hesitant, though, to experience it again. But it was a great experience. So overall, everything I have shown in my posts and videos have been a great experience. And if I would have to do it again, I most likely would do it again. I would. And this time, hopefully, if I'm still at a job, which I most likely will be, that I will have more time to dedicate more of myself for the majority of the time, and not be in a travel debacle. That's one. But devote more of my time to not just work during the day. So I enjoyed my experience. This was a great experience, and I would like to experience it again. But until then, you have a great night. Take care.